Although there are important overlaps, indeed, this is an area where further investigation and more proactive efforts are required. Let me reiterate. I can say that the key contributing factors would include awareness, confidence, ability to secure, use, and disseminate information individually and collectively, opportunity to be heard, opportunity to make a difference. Efforts to overcome exclusion would also have to target men, particularly where social, cultural, and religious practices are concerned. We also need to create a so-called enabling environment, meaning a political, legal, economic, and cultural climate that allows women to engage in decision-making processes in a sustainable, and effective way. Intensify male migration as a result of climate change and disasters often leaves women with a huge burden of looking after family, home, and land. This is both a challenge and opportunity. A challenge to survive, but an opportunity for women to assume a more influential role in the community, and an opportunity for all of us to help them to do so. Distinguished participants, we are in the world's most disaster-prone region. This is the region with the most disaster. During 1998 to 2007, according to a report by ESCAP, OSHA, and UNEP, the Asia-Pacific accounted for 38% of world's natural disasters. 86% of people affected, nearly 90%, and 79% of fatalities. Really, again, another sad fact. Natural disasters and climate changes are indeed not a new phenomenon. They have been occurring from time immemorial. People have developed ways of surviving them and getting on with life. But large-scale international assistance, by contrast, this is a new phenomenon, and donors are still on a learning curve. It is increasingly recognized that international responses need to be combined with proven local approaches in order to ensure more sustainable solutions. This means helping people to better help themselves. The best knowledge exists with the people living on location. And this is something that most of us always overlook. We always get in there to tell them what to do instead of learning from them as to what can be done, and we support them. In this way, climate change impacts can sometimes be turned into new opportunities. For example, as you know, women are heavily involved in agriculture in areas often ravaged by adverse climatic events. In sub-Saharan Africa, women produce 80% of the food, primarily on small holdings. Being industrious and innovative, many of them have found ways of adapting their farming to the changing environment. In Latin America and Africa, we at UNCTAD, we are working with SMEs, including Women's Association, to develop sustainable practices that contribute to reforestation, conservation of habitats, and poverty alleviation through development of bio-trade products and services, such as ecotourism. One such initiative in Ecuador has delivered a 25% increase in income, revitalization of traditional knowledge, and export market access for an SME involving 62 communities and managed by one woman. Assisting women like this to help themselves and to share their knowledge with others will go a long way towards improving food security and developing business and trade. We at UNCTAD like to do more work really on the ground with the women and to create real opportunities for women to exert themselves. Governments, NGOs, women groups, and the international community must act quickly and cohesively to provide the necessary encouragement, training, and financial and moral support to enable women to maximize their contributions and overcome long-standing constraints. Ensuring the active participation of half the population considerably enhances an economy's production and growth potential. Guaranteeing an education for all girls doubles the potential knowledge base. Providing fora for women to share their knowledge and experience on coping with climate change and disasters can mitigate the negative impacts and halt the rise in vulnerability. And with the right type of policies, trade can also help reduce gender inequalities and serve as an engine of growth. In this context, I would like to share with you some ideas for action. We would like to be actions-oriented. All these recommendations will focus mainly on improving inclusion of women in participatory processes, improving their access to information and training, and encouraging entrepreneurship. On the international side, I have quite a number of recommendations, so please bear with me. On the international side, I have 3 suggestions. One, it is important to document good practices emerging around the developing world and disseminate them widely among donors, NGOs, and women's self-help groups. This is already happening to some extent.